It's laundry day. It's Sunday. That means it's time for some Lode Runner around these parts. Lode Runner. It's one of the first games that I got seriously deep into ever, and was kind of a landmark thing back in like '83 when it first came out. It was originally developed for the Apple II, but I played it on the Atari 800 a lot. And let's actually get it loading here. You're gonna hear some beeps because that's what the Atari did. You know, you would hear some beeps like this as games loaded from disk. It was pretty ridiculous. This is the color version. One Ralph Burtonberg. So this color version is how I remember playing the game, but I don't know if this color version was something that was available commercially, or if Ralph hacked it in here or what. But the other versions of the game I can find out there these days seem to be almost monochrome. They're color, but not the same way this is. But this one also has some weird kind of aliasing, or it's like there some attempts to kind of smooth things out so that copyright text is not as crisp as it is in the non-color version, but it's still Lode Runner. Okay, so this is the demo play here. You dig holes, you get the gold. The bad guys will try to steal the gold. You can get it back from them, and you have to get all the gold and exit the level. The AI behaves in a predictable manner. They're called bunglings here, though Lode Runner over the years they were robots for a while. At some point they primarily became known as mad monks, which I never really understood that, but the monks want their gold. So Lode Runner. Let's see here. How do I get out of the demo? There we go. Let's play some Lode Runner. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, that iris effect is really cool, but it makes everything take a little bit longer, so there's a way to disable it. I think I've done that. This game was almost, in a lot of ways, best played with the keyboard, because with the keyboard you had two dig buttons, one to dig in front of you and one to dig behind you. So, it became a lot easier just to kind of dig on either side of you. With a joystick, you only have the one button of the Atari controller, so you're kind of limited. I was never so great at Lode Runner that seemed like a real problem, but all right. So they'll climb out of the holes eventually. Let's see, that guy get knocked back in, and oh geez, those guys are just idiots, and they'll get buried, and when they die, they reappear at the top and come at you all over again. When you get all the gold, a little tune plays, and if there are any ladders to basically your goal at that point is to get to the very top line of the level, and that will exit the level. So that means ladders can appear to as soon as you collect all the gold, stuff like that. These are diggable blocks, but these are not. You can't dig on the solid ones. Also, there are traps right here. You'll fall through. It's not like a murderous trap or anything like that, but it is tricky. Okay. If one of these guys is holding any gold, they'll drop it as soon as they fall in a hole, or if not earlier sometimes. Well, I'll come back around to that section, but that's kind of one of the main things about the puzzles in a Lode Runner game, or stuff like this, where I've got to dig 2 so that I have room to get in here and dig 1. And now we have all the gold. It filled in that ladder, because we wouldn't be able to get to that ladder any other way because of the trap that's, again, right there. And we make it out of the level. So this game has, I want to say 150 levels in it or something like that. So it was really a long-lasting thing. There were plenty of ways to cheat and stuff like that, give yourself more lives, and in a little bit here, maybe I'll skip ahead into some of the later levels. You can see kind of how complicated some of the stuff actually gets. But see, these guys, the AI behaves in predictable behavior when it comes to trying to get to you. So you see, as soon as I go up that ladder, he's not sure which way to go. So I'm actually like able to hold those two guys up there, and if I walk up a little bit, then one of them will try to fall off, and it kind of breaks it. But there's just like little pockets like that where their logic just doesn't work in a good way. So that predictable AI is kind of one of the other keys of Lode Runner. Is once you kind of know how they can get hung up and stuff like that, you can kind of take advantage of that to just kind of like, okay, hang them up and then get away. Or you know when you're really in danger, I guess. Also, this is the Broderbund logo. Broderbund was the company that published it. And yeah, I guess when you go read about some of the history of Lode Runner, it started life as a game called Miner, or a game called Kong, that then became a game called Miner. And then Doug E. Smith took it to Broderbund, and they ended up publishing it under the name Lode Runner. Got polished up from there. I want to say that versions of Miner are like out there. That stuff's been seen. Here we go. Oh no! Oh, that was. So when you die, you restart the entire level over again, like all the gold, everything. Has to be collected again, so that's a hassle. Oh geez, that's bad. No, fill in. Oh, okay. So yeah, you can bury yourself. That's bad. You can also get stuck. There's a key command for like quitting. For cases where you get stuck and you're not dead, but you can't proceed either. Alright, we'll get this gold here. Go over, get this one. Also, you never really know if they have gold or not there. That guy just dropped it. So one of those guys has a gold. I don't think it's this guy. I think it's the other one. I probably should have... Well... Fuck. Let's just go over here and get this one now. So you see that guy over on the right is just like wigging out at the top of that ladder. He's just like, you're above me, and I'm going up this ladder, which seems like it would be a way to get to you, but I don't know. Also, those guys could, when they fall into this trap, they could just climb down that ladder and survive, but the AI doesn't do that. So you see, I'm down here below them in a way that like they should just think like, oh, I can climb down, but they never ever do that. Okay, so let's dig that guy into a hole. That guy will fall in there. Okay. Get over here, get these. And this should be it, unless one of them's holding. Okay. Eat it. Eat it. Alright. Awesome. So yeah, for finishing a level, you get some points. You also get an extra life every time you clear a level. You can adjust the run speed of it. I always found the default speed to be pretty good. It's not like Jumpman. Like Jumpman on the Commodore 64, like the default run speed is just slow as hell. So I would always want to get it going. Oh man. Also, if they run at you while you're digging a hole and you haven't finished digging, they will prevent you from digging a hole. It'll just automatically fill in, basically. Okay, that guy got that gold. He dropped it at the top of that ladder. Oh no! Standing right by the spawn point. That's. Okay. I could see wanting to speed it up a little, maybe a little bit now, though. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. We screwed up. No, we got it. We got this. Okay. Actually, I need to get out of there. Shit. Okay, this should be it for gold. You know, that guy could have, like, run off to the edge there and actually caught me, but, you know, they're slow. They're... Oh, no. Okay, well, that works too. Thought I'd get a little bit trickier than that, but didn't actually need to. Alright, let's get out of here. I can't do that right now. So you see, you know, there's that gold over this gold below me here. That's real. That's you know, sort of tricky. I think that would be like this though. No, because I can't. That doesn't work. So that's a lot more digging. I want to say there's a trap over here that is bad. No? Okay. Huh. Oh. Well. If I'd been a little bit faster, I could have gotten out of that situation without dying, but... there we go. So a lot of versions of Loadrunner have been released over the years. You know, this was the first, but then there was like Championship Loadrunner, which was just like the same game with harder levels. Then the game got super huge in Japan. And that led to Famicom versions of the game and all sorts of, like, you know, Japanese computer versions and stuff like that that ended up getting pretty popular. And so, you know, you had arcade versions of Loadrunner appearing and stuff like that, which for a game that was, you know, initially programmed for, you know, home computers, you know, it was unheard of at the time. For these sorts of games to get popular overseas at all really was not something you heard about. And so, you know, a lot of the franchise's popularity ended up kind of coming from that. And okay, there's a trap. That guy was just falling through some traps there. Okay, how am I gonna get these? I guess I just... Oh, well, not like that. That's how. Not like that. Oh! Oh! Okay, is this gonna do it? No, because then I fall here and... Okay. Let's just throw him in a hole to make sure he's not holding. Race up here and do this. Oh, okay, that works. I actually don't want that guy to die because that means he'll respawn right there. Okay. One of these guys has some gold. I'm guessing it's one of those four on the other side, which is going to be a pain. Okay, let's, Come on. There we go. Pick up the gold, drop it again. All right, awesome. So yeah, the traps are just that. They're traps. You know, you don't really know that they're there until it's too late. Well, I guess I just want to do that. You can also kind of walk on their heads while they're still alive. Which is handy in some situations, but it's like, unless they're really tightly packed, like in a hole or something like they are right there, it's sort of risky. Is that going to be it? That is it. Okay. So yeah, so as soon as I started up that ladder, he started turning around. See, I can get him to go back the other way, and you know, there's just weird AI stuff like that with the way they kind of path around a level. But you know, like Pac-Man had patterns and behaviors and stuff like that. Like so too does Lode Runner. So the other thing, I don't think we've run into it, but like that gold, if I had not fallen directly on top of it and had the trap below it, I don't think I would have collected that gold right there. I think that would have been, I would have passed right through it. Oh wait, I can't get out of here. Oh wait. Yeah, there's no, okay, so I would probably have to get this one last and hopefully the ladders appear. So yeah, I can hit Control A and die. But actually, let's see the other part of Lode Runner here. So we'll hit Control R and end the game here, and give it that, and then we'll hit Control E. So this has a fully functional level editor in it. It's tile-based. You know, if you look at something like Super Mario Maker, and that kind of tile-based level editor of like, take these things, put them on this grid, and everything behaves the way you expect it to, as governed by, you know, the rules. It's sort of the exact same thing. So I can just hit P and go into play level, and then at that point we can go like, what's level 99? Oh wait, no, that's not going to be that's 099. So, you know, as you can see, they become more complicated. We can kind of get in and out relatively quickly here. I want to say there are 150 levels. So here's the final level. So yeah, if I walk out that way, it doesn't collect it. I have to fall onto it to get those golds. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to do some weird trickery here because I have to. Okay. Detached disk, attached disk, Lode Runner data disk. Okay, because you can't even get into the editor if you have the game disk in the drive. So I have to tell it like, no, it's totally not the game disk. This is something else. So we can edit level 001. And here is a level I very quickly put together. All the level editing is done with the keyboard. You see I move this cursor around with I, J, K, and M, which for whatever reason, that was their keyboard controls. I feel like a lot of Apple II games used these keys as well, because some of these platforms just didn't have arrow keys back then, so you kind of had to choose something. And then basically the 1 through 0 are the different items here. So 1 is just a standard brick, 2 is unbreakable, 3 is a ladder, 4 is a rope, like a rope swing, or not a rope, like a monkey bar kind of thing, I guess you would call it. These are the traps, so if you walk through the trap, you fall in. That's a ladder that only appears after all the gold has been collected. That's gold, that's an enemy, and that's you, which you can't have more than one of you, and then 0 clears it out. So, you know, right now, if we... can I play from here? I can hit Control S and save, and then go back into the editor, play level 1. Control J for joystick. I think we're going to beat this one. I think this is a good level. Solid. And then, you know, since there's no level 2, it just plays level 1 again. So this led to hackers, you know, doing stuff like re-releasing like their own fake Loadrunner, you know, full standalone games that were just like, it had all the Loadrunner title screen, but their levels. And a lot of that would go by names like Loadrunner 4 and Loadrunner 5, and it was just like, you know, almost like pirate multi-cart type stuff. But, you know, you could also just take your disc and take it over to a friend's house. There's a function in here for moving level 1 to level 1 and moving it between different discs. So if you want to, you know, copy a level you made to a friend's disc, it has like that function in there, which is pretty cool. You can initialize the disc, I guess, to erase everything. We can like clear the score file, you know, erase all the scores. But let's go to the editor, and you know, we can make a level. I always liked, you know, there were 2 things I liked to do as a kid that were like spelling out curse words in the ladders that appear after you get all the gold, and then also making levels that were really tightly packed, like, you know, just you know, stuff like this where it's like even just, you know, walls on the side, and then, you know, one area where you can escape, basically. And we'll use ladders to kind of cut through this eventually, you know. This won't be an especially tricky level. Actually, let's do this. Let's double dig this part, and then put some space in there. I'm not sure how many enemies you can put in an area. Let's put a ladder there. We'll put a ladder here. We'll put this ladder here. We'll also carve out that area, because why not? Oops, 0. Put that ladder in the middle there, and then that ladder here. We'll need some gold to give you a reason to go to these areas that like you wouldn't have to, because you know the ladders are there. Let's put some gold there. Let's just put a lot of fucking gold in here, huh? Some more there, some more there, there. And we'll put those ladders there. And then we'll put... wonder how many you can have. I mean, this is no longer a finishable level. You don't really set a spawn point for these guys. It just kind of knows to drop them somewhere at the top of the level. Which, if you kind of figure out what spot they drop into, you can make it so they drop into a, you know, a different kind of feeder that you know, gets them around into a different part of the level, or, you know, this kind of tricks you can pull like that. I wonder if this is, all right, let's Control S that. Go back to our editor, play level 1. I want to say some of these guys, oh wait, what? Dude. What happened? This is emulator stuff now at this point. Hang on. I think if I... Shit. Huh. Yeah, I know what I did. Okay, sorry. Let's just... The disk was set to read only. We need to set it to read write. Okay. So I had disks that were just full of levels, you know, and you know, you'd have sometimes it'd be like 10 levels in a row that were just super easy and just spelling out words and crap like that. But I don't know, I got way into it. You know, it's a very easy to use, you know, it's easy to wrap your mind around it. You know, it's like the way the levels are built, the way the enemies react, all that sort of stuff. Like the rules are very set in stone, you know? Okay. So, you know, permutations on these concepts and stuff like that, where it was like, okay, you know how the enemies are going to react, and you know, you can kind of build levels around that, was actually a lot of fun, and I would just kind of make levels and play them. Oops, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3. Let's put that one there. And again, let's dig out a little bit on the sides there, just for kicks. Okay, gold. Oh, nope. 7 is gold. Okay, put some there, some at the top of the ladder, and then, okay, I think that worked that time. Hang on, let me just see if I can modify today, 3:49 p.m. Okay, all right. That looked like the file on my desktop seemed to updated with the right timestamp. So I think, oops. So I think we are good now. 6, 6. Let's put too many enemies in it. I think what happens is eventually the enemies just, like, enemies over a certain number, like you can fill it up, but only X number of enemies will ever show up in your level. So the first ones you set down, which, you know, there probably should be a more prominent way of displaying that sort of thing. So let's save it like that. That'll be unplayable, but let's just try to play it. No, control, how do we control Q, play level 1. There we go. So you see, yeah, well, I guess most of those enemies never showed up. So, you know, this ends up being pretty straightforward. I mean, if you get the enemies kind of clumping together and stuff like that, then that becomes tricky, and actually they are about to clump up in a group of 5, which might not be something you can do. Okay, we're gonna need to space it all the way out back here. We're gonna need to hit this guy. No, I can't. You can't do this. You can't. It's okay. All right. Well, I guess we can. We just have to kill him. Okay. If we could get these guys to collect somewhere. All right, that'll at least. Okay, okay. I think we're gonna need to have a standoff with these 5 dudes again. So as they kind of fall into each other's holes and stuff like that, you know, you end up in situations where they just. Let's see. All right, that guy's gonna die. So. Nope, nope, he's gonna get out too fast. I can't. Oh, gotta bail on that. Wait. Where do they clump up? Okay, they all bunch up on that ladder. That's probably not enough space. Okay, let's try it. If I just keep digging, eventually they will all die. Yeah. I'm doomed. Yeah, so, you know, even 5 in a level that tight, you know, 5 guys are going to be pretty tricky, right? And yeah, you know, you can just go on and make levels. So that's level 1. We could just go make level 2 now, you know, and you can have a disc with, you know, your own 50 levels, 150 levels, whatever the limit is. And kind of use those tools to make those levels again. And yeah, you know, it didn't have the easy sharing stuff that the internet affords us these days, but the ability to kind of make those levels and have other people play them and all that sort of stuff was pretty awesome in its day. They promoted it on the box there as like a game generator, which is, I don't know, it's a level editor, right? It's not, you're not making whole new games, but you are making sequences of levels and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it was just an awesome thing back then. And, you know, of course, it became wildly successful. And tons of Lode Runner games have been made over the years. Games like, you know, they made a Lode Runner 3D for the N64. I think that was the last one that Doug Smith worked on. And it was not a particularly awesome game. And then they made classic kind of style Lode Runner games for iOS and for Xbox Live Arcade. I think it's on the backwards compatibility list if you wanted to see that one. It's like, it's the same basic concept, but there's, you know, for me, these original graphics, the original pacing of this sort of stuff, like this style, is what speaks to me. Like they went with this kind of like treasure hunter kind of pith helmet motif that made it into more like a, you know, spelunker or games of that era, Pitfall, kind of that sort of Indiana Jones-ish sort of thing that you know was never about that. If you look at you know the box art for Lode Runner, even this box art right here, like it's a dude with a laser drill. He's got a drill gun, and the fucking robots are trying to get him, and he's trying to get the gold and all that sort of stuff. Like that's the aesthetic. Like if I were Tozai Games, the company that now owns the rights to Lode Runner, I would try to make a Lode Runner game that like evoked the look of this original box art. Like to me, that would be cool. I assume if at some point they will make another Lode Runner. I mean, they are the rights holders, and it still is a thing that I think has been popular. It's got potential. It's a time-tested design and all that sort of stuff. I haven't tried the iOS version. I think that's called Lode Runner Classic, which kind of goes back to these original graphics and that sort of stuff, which you know, I think that sort of works. Let's see, how do I... Is there a way out? I guess if I just quit out like that, and we'll get back to the title screen. I forget. Anyway, yeah, it's you know, this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the greatest games of all time. You know, it's just one of those early examples of just kind of reaching beyond, you know, what a lot of their other games were doing at the time. And it, you know, has those kind of simple mechanics that are repeatable and things learnable, basically. You know, you kind of learn the behaviors of how the AI will handle certain situations, and then, you know, it becomes about how do you exploit that to get through some of these harder levels and all that. And yeah, it's awesome. And you know, another great example of a game with a level editor. You know, I've been playing a lot of Super Mario Maker lately, and it's been reminding me of this kind of every step of the way, of that kind of tile-based, very much like, hey, you know the rules because this thing has been around for a long time, and now you're going to kind of plot these things out, and it will behave, you know, as you expect because the rules are the rules. And I think that's cool. This and that are the two of the three games with level editors that I just got way into. And yeah, it is because it is just kind of so easy to get in and feel like you're making like legitimate levels. So yeah, that's Lode Runner. I think it's awesome. Because it is. I'm not alone in that. Lode Runner is awesome. See you later.